What's going on, YouTube friends, family, and followers? It's your boy B Mac here. So, got another Mackonreal for this week. I told you I was going to start hitting them weekly, so that means that the length is not going to be as long. It is what it is. All right, hopefully they will get better. All right, the viewership will go up. I will share more. I will just give you insight to my little life or things that I find to be helpful for my life and my situation. And hopefully others can get I guess they can gain some insight and knowledge. So last week's video was on self-care and the importance of it, right? So this week I want to follow up kind of in that same vein, but I want to talk about self-love, okay? Now this one, again, not going to be super long, but it's fairly, what's the word? Self-explanatory. So when you're talking about self-love, all right, we're talking about understanding and appreciating one's own happiness of self. Okay? Now, I say that because we talked about self-care last week, with that being, talking about your mental, your physical, and all the things that make you operate as a human being, right? So in the sense of self-love, this is the things that kind of go hand in hand with your self-esteem, your self-confidence, things of that nature, right? So you want to make sure you keep those things in check, or at least you're giving yourself self-love, or making sure there's a way that you are receiving self-love, because those avenues of your life directly affect, like I said, your self-esteem, your personality, your self-confidence, because again, all of those selves revolve in how you operate as a daily person, right? So all of those assets or aspects of your personality, your id, your ego, super ego, all of that tie into self, right? But again, self can't be the best version of self if self is not feeling loved, if self is not feeling appreciated. And again, a lot of that comes from within. Now, if you don't provide that for yourself and you're constantly out there looking for it in other people, I'm going to tell you right now, that is a horrible, horrible, horrible way to go about it, because you will find in our daily lives and our daily experiences and things that just happen in our, normal livelihood, sometimes, you trying to make other people happy, or you trying to keep other people happy because you think that's what's necessary or what's best for them, it is overall going to do you, a great service. But I can tell you, as living proof of being in situations or being in relationships, whether they be romantic or friendships, with people where when you are applying more than what you're getting back into that said relationship, then ultimately you're doing yourself a disservice. Because what's going to end up happening is you're going to feel drained. You're going to feel like, dang, why is it that, I feel like essentially you're going to feel starved. Right, that's a way to starve yourself of the love you need. Because again, when you're pouring, love into a one-sided situation, no matter what the type of relationship is, no matter whether it be, a hobby, a pastime, anything, you can pour love into a lot of different things. But what I'm saying is, if you don't understand it, recognize that if that thing isn't loving you back the way you want it to, then at the end of the day, it's not self-love. And that's going to ultimately affect your self-esteem, your self-worth, and other versions of how you view yourself, because you're not loving yourself to the best of your ability. All right, so again, not a long video this week, because we just talking about self-love and the importance of self-love, so you don't feel like you're out here draining yourself by overextending your loves. All right, there's nothing wrong with loving other things, but you got to remember, you got to love yourself first. Because if you don't, then who's going to love you for you? That's your boy B Mac here. I know I've said the word self and love like 5 million times. I'm sorry I was not better prepared for this video. I knew the topic that I wanted to talk about, but when I talk about self-love, it's hard not to get into mentioning relationships and things of that nature, because a lot of times the best relationship you can have is with yourself, outside of one with your spiritual being or creator. Just self-love and self-appreciation are things that I think should be heavily always viewed upon, because in our day-to-day lives, we get so caught up in, our relationships and our, relationships with our children, our relationships with other people, the opposite sex or same sex, depending upon your situation, or your friendships or your jobs. And a lot of times, the biggest person that gets forgotten in that entirety, you, self. We lose self inside of self all the time because at different times we put other things ahead of ourselves. And we just normally live a society where it's like that, where it's like, if it's not a self-sacrificing situation or a self-sacrificing relationship, you're not giving it all. You're not giving your all. Well, who's to say that your all has to be self-sacrificing? Why can't you just love self first? I know it might sound a little selfish, but again, you gotta take care of number one, because number one controls the rest of the things that you have or the rest of the hats that you may or may not wear. All right, so that's all I got. Self-love is important. Love yourself, love your friends, your family, and all the other good stuff. But remember, you can't take care of other people if you don't take care of you. That's been your boy B-Mac. That's all I got. Go ahead and go now, because I think I've said the word self and self-love like 3 million times at this point. I promise you the video topics and the videos are going to get better. I just have to have other things happen that make me think to myself, hey, that's important, and I want to talk about it at length and write a video about it. I already knew that self-love was the topic of this week, so come next week, I'm going to have something brand new, hopefully life experience or just something that might be helpful. But definitely going to keep the schedule of trying to drop something every week. So that's been your boy. Check me out, like, share, subscribe, and yeah, love yourselves.